I was recording a podcast earlier, and the host kept pushing me on the question, how much do I need to have saved for retirement? And I kept answering, it depends. And no one wants to hear that. I totally get it. But it really does depend. And it depends on primarily one thing. And that is, how much do you plan on spending in retirement? That was the answer I gave. And this is the truth. If you want to know how much you need to have saved, you need to start by knowing how much you plan on spending. How do you do that? Most people don't have a budget. I know I don't. I'm not really a big fan of budgets, to be honest. What I recommend is you look at how much do you have coming in right now? While you're still working, how much is deposited into your bank account on the first of every month. Then subtract out how much do you have left at the end. That gives you an idea of how much are you spending right now. Say that you have $10,000 deposited. At the end of the month, you have $2,000 left over. You're spending $8,000 a month, plus or minus, but that's pretty close for our purposes. And from there, you can use that to build the basis of your spending. If you want the ultra simple way of figuring out how much money you need to have saved in order to retire, take that monthly spending number and then subtract out any guaranteed income in retirement. It's probably going to be Social Security, it could be a pension, anything along those lines. So you had $8,000, you have a $3,000 Social Security payment that's going to be coming in. That means you need to have $5,000 a month to supplement that to cover your spending needs. It's pretty straightforward. Take that $5,000 a month, multiply it by 12. You get to $60,000 per year. Pretty easy. Take that $60,000 per year and multiply it by 20. And if you multiply it by 20, you get $1.2 million. That's the amount that you need to have saved pre-tax to hit your spending goals in retirement. Now, that's total back of the envelope math, that's total fuzzy math, and I'm kind of hedging between pre-tax and post-tax on this. So there's a lot of different ways that you can split this up. But if you want to get a good idea of if you're on track or if you have enough to retire, that's a great place to start. The other option that you can do is you can say, I want to retire tomorrow and I want to know how much can I spend in retirement and not run out of money. So in that case, you're actually going to take however much you have saved, say you have $1 million saved, multiply it by 5%, 0.05. That's going to be 50,000. Then you're going to divide that by 12. That's going to be 4,033 and 33 cents, I think. I might be off on that. I'm not using a calculator right now. But take that number and then add to that any guaranteed income, again, like Social Security. Whatever that number is, that's going to be your total pre-tax income monthly. You can reduce that by, you can figure out exactly how much your taxes are going to be because you have fairly solid income that way, fairly predictable income that way. And then whatever's left over, that's your post-tax income. That's what's going to be dropped into your account, what you can drop into your account on the first of every month or whatever day your Social Security pays out. And you can live on that. And you're probably wondering, where do I get the 5% number? Essentially, you've probably heard of the 4% rule. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. That came out of the Trinity study, which came out, 30 years ago or so. And it's essentially the number that the percentage of your account that you can withdraw basically indefinitely and have your money last for at least 30 to 35 years, which is the typical retirement. A long typical retirement. And so I think that's a little conservative. And because that is based on straight line spending, that every year you're going to take out the same amount no matter if the market goes up or if the market goes down. What I've found is most people kind of intuitively understand if the market goes down, you take a little bit less out that year. And when you do that, it actually allows you to take out a little more in the good years. So instead of having a 4% rule, you can typically pretty safely take out 5% per year. It's not guaranteed, but it's relatively safe. And that's my approach for most of my clients. When the market's up, they do a little better. When the market's down, make sure that they have a little flexibility built into their, I'm not going to say budget because I don't usually use that, but built into their spending so they can adapt to that. And that's my approach. I mean, honestly, retirement doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated to figure out how much can I spend in retirement or how much do I need to spend in retirement. But those are some good basic guidelines to start out. If you want to know more, go to plentifulwealth.com. Click the link in the show notes below.